to live with Gordon, Ray. Know what I mean?
Yes, go.
I thought I can do business with a man. And he pulls a stroke like this.
Well, I think it could be really useful. I don't mind admitting I've still got a lot to learn.
Well, I don't mind admitting you've still got a lot to learn, Alistair. But me, it's well out of order.
When I heard about this from the DCI, I jumped at it. I've never had any training as an interviewer.
Oh, you learn on the job though, don't you? I mean, watching people like Roach and Burnside, they're very experienced.
Sure, but just because they've been doing it a long time doesn't mean to say they're doing it right. Gordon Ray's shaking our firm up, June. I think he's doing us good.
Will you tell him, Viv? I'm not the secretary of his fan club, you know.
Had your breakfast, Dave?
Yes, thanks, Viv. Wait.
Come on.
You got the time, mate?
10:05.
Oh, hell! So, we're still waiting for DC Carver.
Well, we better get the show on the road then, lads. Don't want to hang around all day, do we?
Yes, well, perhaps you'll show him your notes. Help him catch up when he arrives. Right, for those of you who didn't catch the names earlier, I'm Sergeant Bob Eady. And this is Sergeant Dave Wills. What we aim to do in today's exercises is to help you criticize the techniques you use in your everyday work and to build on your strengths. There are three main phases. First, a seminar on the key ideas you'll be dealing with. Then you'll break into small groups for the simulated interviews and detailed debriefing. Finally, we'll all meet together to discuss the lessons we've learned.
Then all down a battle cruiser and spend the X's.
If we're still on speaking terms. Right, I'm going to check out the technology, so I'll leave Dave here to kick off the introductory discussion.
Right. Now let's start from the principle that we're all interviewers. Uniform as well as CID, civilians as well as police officers come to that. Teachers and pupils, managers and workers, shopkeepers and customers. We are involved in interview situations all day long. So, what is the interviewer doing? Two things mainly. One, he's trying to find things out. He's an inquisitor. And then, he is trying to persuade the interviewee to a particular course of action. And if there is one thing a course like this aims to do, it is to help us to become more effective persuaders.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
DC Carver,
Right.
son.
I'm sure he will. Yeah, I'm sure he will. Okay. Cheers, mate. Bye.
DC Carver, Sun Hill. I'm supposed to be with the interview training unit.
Well, you're late then, aren't you? They've been going the best part of an hour.
Yes, I know I'm late, so can I come through?
I'll have to check. So they don't tell us nothing about what they're doing.
Can I make a quick call?
What, personal?
Well, yeah.
From here, they're clamping down. Hello, Skipper. I've got a DC Carter at the desk.
Carver.
Now his name's Carver.
Any more buy signs, signals that the suspect's willing to come across?
A suspect asked you to repeat what you've just asked him. He's trying to give himself time to think.
Delaying tactics? Okay, there's probably lots more we could put down, but let's just say we've recognized the buy signs that the suspect's putting out. Now, this is a crucial stage of the interview because there has to be a shift.
Jim Carver. Sorry I'm late. Car trouble.
Lie sign, Skipper, he's sweating.
Better late than never, Jim. Take a seat. So now you've recognized the buy signs. It's up to you to influence the suspect's decision-making, to make him decide to confide in you. And when we've looked at ways you might do that, we'll take a coffee break and prepare for the interviews.
So I've used a stolen credit card. I mean, am I definitely guilty?
Sure.
So when do I put my hands up?
When and if they persuade you that's what you should do.
And the governor's going to interview me.
After you've interviewed him.
This is going to be a riot.
Sonia, it's Jim. Look, please don't hang up. Look, I'm not trying to start things up again. But there are things to be sorted out. Look, the point is, I've left my car keys, my flat keys, my alarm chronograph diver's watch. Sonia. Sonia!
Load of old put all this stuff in the classroom.
That right, Gov?
You've either got it or you haven't when it comes to interviewing. It's like handling women. Know what I mean, June?
Oh, I can imagine. But the thing is, Gov, we've got to brief you to play a suspect in the interview. How do you think you're going to manage?
Be a bit strange for you being on the receiving end and all that, wouldn't it, eh?
If I didn't know villains inside out, I wouldn't be able to do my job. See, I think like them, only I think faster and harder.
So, you'd have made a tasty villain yourself then, eh, Gov?
You'll have heard of Bobby Dunwall. Well, he used to hold up armadillos on the South Circular in the 70s. Now he's holding up a bridge on the M25. Anyway, Bobby said to me one day, he was a very nice man to meet socially, he said, Frank, you'd have made a brilliant armed blagger, because you got it all up front. You only have to look him in the eyes. Wouldn't have to pull the trigger.
Some testimonial, Gov.
So, you'll have no trouble impersonating this tearaway then, will you?
Right. We'll have him wheeled in.
You're looking a bit rough this morning, Jim. Hope she was worth it.
Who pulled your chain?
Sorry, mate. Bit of a touchy subject.
Why don't you just shut your big mouth for a change, Quinnan?
We never got round to your briefing, did we?
No, Skip, no.
Well, let's do that now, shall we? Won't take long.
Pleased to see you all right, mate.
Sit down, Frank. You don't mind if we call you Frank, do you? I'm Detective Sergeant Gregg. This is WDC Martella.
Good morning, Frank.
You understand why you're here, Frank? Could you give us a clear answer? This interview's being recorded, and if you just nod your head, there won't be a clear record of what we say to each other.
Yes, I understand why I'm here.
Good. What do you do for a living, Frank?
I'm a travelling salesman.
I suppose that involves a lot of travelling, does it?
In the London area, yeah.
Can you tell us what you were doing this morning at round about 10 o'clock?
I was on my way to see a customer in Epping.
Go on.
I pulled off the main road. Wanted to check the A to Z.
You stopped the car in Dudley Road?
Yeah. Well, I realised I needed to go to needed to relieve myself. I was looking for a likely spot.
And did you find a likely spot?
Yeah. Anyway, on the way back to the car, I spotted the item in question on the pavement.
What exactly did you see?
Well, I don't know. Thought it was a piece of cloth. Thought it had blown off someone's washing line.
And what exactly was it?
Pair of niggers.
So you're an active burglar with form, and you did commit this offence.
And I can play it any way I want, right?
Sure. Within the bounds of credible suspect behaviour. I mean, we're not here to play games or wind each other up.
Oh, no, Skip, of course not.
When you were arrested, Frank, and searched, the stolen property was found in your pocket. Why was that?
Well, like I said. You know. Like I said, I thought it had blown off somebody's washing line.
Avoidance.
That's what you said.
Lie sign.
It doesn't explain you find something in your pocket.
Good.
Well, I was going to hand them in.
Hand them in?
Yeah, but give them back. I mean, you can't leave property lying about in the gutter.
But you were getting back into your car with the stolen property in your pocket when the officer stopped you.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what to do. Hadn't made up my mind.
If I had to describe you, Frank, I wouldn't say you were just a face in the crowd. I'd say you were quite distinctive looking. Do you think that's right?
Seems fair enough.
So when a woman living off Dudley Street says she saw a man answering your description in her back garden taking stuff off the washing line, that has to be you, doesn't it, Frank?
What are we talking about here? I mean,
A request for information. Buy sign.
They should respond to that.
it could look like, well, sort of thing a pervert might do.
We're not interested in calling people names, Frank. That's not our business. We just want the matter cleared up. You took the item, didn't you?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Frank. That's helped us all out. Now, is there anything else you want to say to us?
Anything else you want to get off your chest?
Yeah. Yeah, there is. I'd like 375 other offences taken into consideration. Black frilly ones.
What do you mean she's not available? In a meeting? She's an audio typist, not the chairman of the board. Hello? Hello?
What do you mean I was seen? Who saw me?
You were seen in the shop.
Oh, that's rubbish. I was never in the shop.
Let me finish. The shop assistant gave a very full description. There couldn't have been another woman in the area matching that description.
She's doing a number on them.
The street must have been full of girls looking like me. Dark hair, wearing Marks and Spencer's jacket and skirt. They sell them by the gross. Do you know that?
Well, we're not here to talk about what I know. Now, would you like to tell us what you were doing in the high street, yeah?
Well, shopping. What else would I be doing?
And what were you hoping to buy?
Clothes, new handbag, well, anything I like the look of.
When you were stopped, you only had £11.50 on you. Wouldn't go far on clothes, would it?
Well, I could look, couldn't I? And then if I saw something I fancied, I could come back with the money. You never heard of window shopping?
You were miles away from where you live. You went all that way with hardly any money at all to window shop. Well, that doesn't make much sense, does it?
Uncertainty. She's cracking.
Time to change gear.
I never said that's what I came out for, did I? You said what was I doing in the high street, and I said window shopping.
Get into persuasion.
You're just telling us stories, aren't you, Viv? There's no point in it. It's just wasting your time.
You can't prove anything.
You keep this up and we got to check out everything you say. It all takes time. We don't mind. We're getting paid for it. You could make it a lot easier on yourself, though. I want you to think about it, Viv.
That's it. Use the silence.
See, I don't know what I'm getting into here.
What you're getting into.
I've been in trouble before. They'll come down hard on me.
Look, we're not talking about the crown jewels, are we, eh? Now, if you're helpful, that's got to look better for you, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Well?
Yes.
She's agreeing with something, sign that she's willing to buy.
The fact is, you've been seen by a witness, you've got previous, and you've been telling us a load of porkies. So, you going to tell us where you got that credit card from, or do you want to get done for nicking it as well as using it?
I don't know what you're talking about. You reckon I've done something? It's down to you to prove it. You get your witness to point the finger. I don't have to say nothing.
Well, I think that's blowing that one out, eh?
I've got no comment to make.
I think we're calling it a day on this one.
I'm going to be tied up some time with this debriefing, so it might be a good moment for the rest of you to grab some lunch.
Tell me, if this had been for real, would you have climbed up on Burnside like that?
Yeah, sure I would. He got right up my nose. He does sometimes.
You were bringing your own personal feelings into the exercise. Shows what a lot of crap all this is.
I've got no comment to make.
It's not real, is it? I mean, in real life, she'd have coughed. We knew she'd been at it. She knew we knew. All that stuff, it's just Martella going for an Oscar.
See the points I'm making? By intervening the way you did, when you did, you cut right through the rapport the dominant interviewer was establishing.
Yeah, well, we've all got our own styles. And I operate a lot better when I haven't got someone breathing down my ear hole, giving me the ins and outs of a duck's bum about what I'm doing wrong.
Yes, it is me again. But she's been engaged for 10 minutes. What do you mean I can't speak to Sonia? Hang on a second. What do you want?
I want to use the phone. Or have you put enough money in it to buy it?
Get off my back, Clinton. Sorry, what? Oh, right. Right, if that's what she says, that's it then.
I thought this was just going to be for CID. But I'm glad Ray wrote you and Dave in. Well, like they said, I mean, we're all interviewers.
Just for the record, Ray had nothing to do with it. Monroe was asked to nominate a couple of uniform, or am I supposed to be giving him one as well?
Right, I didn't mean anything.
No, I know, but I don't know if I have to take some stick nowadays.
We signed up for a training course. It's getting more like one of them encounter groups.
These two will see you all right, mate.
Right, this is Jim Ackland. I'm Jim Carver. Do you mind if we call you Dave? Give us a kiss. I'd like you to think about your attitude in this interview. How it proceeds is very much up to you. We'd prefer to do it in a civilised manner. But if you choose to be offensive, then we won't give up. You're just liable to make it take longer. Now, do you understand?
You've been eating onions.
We didn't bring you in here for fun, Dave. We believe you're guilty of a criminal offence. Now, what sounds clever in the interview room may not sound so good in court.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a claimant.
You're unemployed.
Yeah.
When you were arrested, you had £150 on you. How do you account for that?
I got lucky on the horses.
The money was the proceeds of selling stolen property, wasn't it, Dave?
No, it wasn't.
Do you know Duxford Crescent?
Yes.
Oh, you do? So you've been there?
Yeah, 2 times.
What were you doing there?
Visiting.
Visiting who?
A girlfriend.
So this girlfriend lives in Duxford Crescent?
No. She moved.
Where to?
Well, I don't know, because we stopped seeing each other. I found out she was a bit of a slag.
What's the name of this girl?
Sonia.
What number does she live at?
That's a funny thing, see.
What was funny?
I could never remember what number it was. All those big houses look the same to me. I used to wander up and down looking for the one where old Sonia's flat was.
We've got evidence putting you at the scene of a burglary in Duxford Crescent.
No way. I mean, that'd be silly, wouldn't it?
We've got your fingerprints.
Yeah?
This Sonia doesn't live at number 73. It isn't turned into flats. One family lives there. That's where we found your fingerprints, after they'd been burgled.
Well, like I said, I must have called at several houses in the street at one time or another, looking for old Sonia. Not surprising, I left prints. Probably left someone who I know, I should think.
Wouldn't you be more comfortable sitting properly in that chair, Dave?
No, thanks.
Oh, I think you should. Because you can damage these chairs sitting awkwardly in them.
Looks all right to me.
Sit up straight, please.
I'm all right, thanks.
Sit up, Dave. You could fall over and hurt yourself.
You worry too much. The girls don't go for that, do they, love?
Oh, stone me.
You want to get a grip on it? You'll say that! You'll say! Come on! Shoes are on today!
Right, Jim. You're right, Jim.
Yeah, I'm fine.
For a moment there, I thought they brought the Muppets back. I used to like that Kermit the Frog. He made me laugh.
Sorry about this, Gov.
Not half as sorry as you're going to be. It is understood, lads, that this is by way of a domestic. Any sorting will be done within the family.
I hope so, Mr. Burnside.
Well, there is a lot to talk about.
You're not joking.
We've got to start by surfacing the important points about what's just happened.
I've just said it'll be dealt with.
I'm not talking about giving anybody grief. I'm talking about what lessons we can learn.
With all due respect, there are no lessons to be learnt. What went on in there is totally out of character. I can tell you that this boy is so straight and level you could shoot pool on him. And he's quite capable of having a go at me if he thinks I'm pulling strokes.
But it doesn't just involve him. June, a prisoner's been assaulted. You're a witness. What's your story?
Me? What?
Look, the question wouldn't arise. It would be squared up on the spot.
Let's say it isn't. The prisoner makes a complaint.
Well, if it came right down to it, I'd have to say what really happened.
Oh, this is a load of cobblers. Noddy in Toyland. In the real world, the co-interviewer would swear it away. No problem. And we all know that. Otherwise, I'd end up back in uniform. Simple.
Yeah, well, not all of us see that as a punishment, Gov. I'd tell the truth.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly your world, is it, June? I know you've been very close to CID lately, and I think you're looking at it in a funny angle.
I don't have to take that from you.
If this is another Sunhill family quarrel, we don't want to hear about it. You say an officer whacking a prisoner will get away with it?
I'm not talking about a cowboy. I'm talking about a good copper losing his rag with a nasty little scrote. It happens. It gets squared. You know it, I know it. That's real life.
That may be real life now, but there are already pilot projects in the Met where interviews are being monitored and videotaped. Before long, it could happen in every station. Then what we've just seen would be evidence. Do you want to stand in the box while that's shown to a jury? I've seen some very good professional work from Sunhill officers here today. But some of us have got to think seriously about our ideas and our behaviour before it's too late.